감정은 무뎌지고
Mm.
그냥 그런 거예요.
At least she knows.
다 그렇게 살아요. 부부가 평생을 뜨겁게 사랑할 수는 없으니까.
뜨겁게 사랑하진 않더라도
Mm.
최소한 존중을 해야 하잖아요.
Preach it now. Hello and welcome back to Actually Let's Talk About It with me, your host Lily. And today I will be reacting to Dr. Cha episode 4. And like I said before in the last reaction, I really am loving this K-drama. It is really getting good. And Dr. Cha's husband is the seconds away from being found out for all the dirty, crazy stuff he's trying to do. So we left off with the hospital, everybody in the hospital, all the teams and the crews, they are out drinking and having a good time. And, you know, Dr. Cha, aka the other Dr. Cha, not the Dr. Cha that we love, the Dr. Cha we do not like. He was basically somebody that brought up his wife and how he's such a good husband and that he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for being a great husband, yada, yada, yada. And basically said that, oh, you know, how he wanted to give his wife a kidney, but it's a good thing that he didn't have to. And we all know that he never wanted to give her a kidney. He was never going to do that. If they hadn't had that donor, she just would have been without, I mean, not a kidney, a liver. If they hadn't had that donor, she would have just been without a liver and possibly would have passed away from not having one because of his selfishness. And she started laughing hysterically, our Dr. Cha that we love. And of course, Dr. Kim, who was also there, was also trying to hold back his laugh because they both know that man is lying through his teeth. And basically, Dr. Cha's husband tries to get their son to get her to leave. That don't work. The woman that's kind of like not bullying the son, but kind of like being a little bit hard on him at the workplace is catching the vibe or a vibe between Dr. Cha and Jungmin, or Jungmin, I believe that's his name. And I could be wrong, but her son, we know who that son is. And I think she's mistaken it for a romantic vibe, but it's just a mother-son vibe. But that's beside the point. And anyway, the chief of the hospital does ask her basically, where's your husband at? Because they don't yet know that her husband is the doctor that they all love so much, and her son is his son. And she just basically said her husband is dead. And that just starts a whole chain of events. And so we're like on the heels of that. So that is where we left off. So that is going to be interesting what we're going to see here. But yeah, we're going to get right into the reaction. But before we get into the reaction, the patron shout out goes out to Keisha L. Again, thank you so much for your support. And to all my other patrons on Patreon, thank you again for being patrons. It is really appreciated. And then also before we get into the reaction, if you're watching this on YouTube, do not forget to click the thumbs up so that it will get out to more people via the algorithm. And also do not forget to subscribe and comment down below if you would like to about your thoughts on this episode and things like that. But without further ado, we are going to get straight into this reaction and see what's what in episode 4 here.
제가 결혼을 했는지 안 했는지가 기억이 안 나요.
God dang. It should not be this funny, but it is. Okay, sing us a song, sir. Come on. Come on now, vocal. Come on. Come on. Hey. Yes. Come on, yes. I love it. He's sleeping because she's happy. He doesn't want to see her happy. Wow. Oh, Dr. Kim, look at you. Look at you, son. Look at the motorcycle. I knew it. They were dating.
그런 거예요.
At least she knows.
다 그렇게 살아요. 부부가 평생을 뜨겁게 사랑할 수는 없으니까.
뜨겁게 사랑하진 않더라도 최소한 존중은 해야 하잖아요.
Preach it now. because that is a very big deal. What he's saying, what Dr. Gim is saying, is very true. He said he should at least respect you, because as her husband, you should not be this resentful, this jealous, this backbiting, this evil against her, but she hasn't done anything to warrant the behavior. If anything, she should be that way towards you. You're the adulterer. You're the two-timer. You're the one who has an illegitimate child with your mistress that we all found out about in episode 3. And yet you're the one who has all this anger because her husband is truly not happy. Even though he seemingly has everything he wants, he's not happy. And he wants her to be as miserable as him. And it messes him up that he cannot get her down the way he wants to see her down. He can't defeat her the way he wants her to be defeated and conquered. He can't break her. And that's where his jealousy comes from. That's where his spitefulness comes from. Because she went from being a young, naive girl to becoming a mother, to becoming a wife, and being great in it all. And even in the midst of her having her son, she still made her way through school and became a doctor. It was a resident. And was still getting better grades than him, who did not have the responsibility. He was not carrying nobody for 10 months out of the year, and he still wasn't doing as great as her. So there's animosity and there's jealousy and there's envying on her husband's part of her. He's hateful of her. He's resentful of her, and he's spiteful against her. And you can't know somebody's like that against you and willingly be with them, because his energy made her sick. All that resentment, that jealousy, that hatefulness over all those years resulted in her liver damage, because it's just bad energy. And then now that she has this new lease on life and this new liver, she has to choose to get away from him, because at the end of the day, he honestly doesn't respect her, and he most likely never will. And that's sad, but that is the unfortunate truth of men like this, and not just men like this, because there's also women like this. There's also gender non-binary people like this. And you have to be able to spot that behavior. And you have to be able to realize that this is a red flag. This is not something you can love them through. This is something that they have to choose to stop, or you have to choose to stop being with them. There is no other option. But I'm so glad that they're hitting on this point. These Korean writers don't be playing.
아닌 건 아니잖니?
Yeah.
엄마가 너희들 꿈을 언제나 응원하듯이 너희들도 딱 한 번만 엄마의 꿈을 응원해줘. 지금 엄마에게 가장 필요한 건 너희들의 응원과 지지야. 사랑해, 내 딸, 엄마가.
I love how she doesn't realize that they're dating yet. And so she does not like her.
뒤집어 올린 건가? 서정민 선생님 거잖아요. 너보다 네 꺼낼 거가 어딨어요? 다 같이 먹는 거지.
So don't do this.
진짜 알기나 해요?
Oh, shoot.
마음대로 생각해서 실망하지 말고 무조건
No.
누구한테든 물어.
It's different. It's different. It's different when you as a child get into protective mode over your parent versus when your parent gets into protective mode over you. It's different. So even though he with homegirl and they be messing around with one another, she better watch herself when it comes to Dr. Cha. Because one thing about Dr. Cha's kids is when it comes down to it, as bratty and, into themselves as they may seem, they don't play about their mother. And her son, I feel like he about to blow on this girl. I feel it. I feel it coming, but let's see. He might not. He might be discreet about it. But I feel a little something coming. Oh, don't let it be cancerous.
모양이 좀 안 좋긴 하네요. 목욕탕에서 어떠니가 얘기해줘서 알았어. 검버섯도 아닌 것 같고 점도 아닌 것 같고 생이
아니요, 괜찮아요.
맛있을 줄도 있어요. 제가 열어볼게요.
선생님, 말씀해요. 이거 어떻게 하는 거야?
Not her calling her son.
명수 형.
아들 정민아, 내가 생각이 안 난다. 빨리 말해봐. 빨리 좀 와봐. 가졌다고 그렇게 생색을 내고 엄마를 무시하냐? 네가 아들이야?
아니 엄마 나는 그게 아니라 내가 말이 좀 심해서.
엄마? 엄마? 병원에서 엄마가 비밀이라며? 오늘 내 당직 네가 써. 나쁜 새끼야.
나도 오늘 당직이야.
시끄러.
아 엄마. 지금 오늘 조사한데 개떡 같은 소리를 들었단 말이야. 장로. 앞으로 내가 그걸 달고 살아야 된다고 해.
네, 일단 수술해봐야 알겠지만 높은 확률로 그럴 가능성이.
나더러.
Oh, she's a visual learner, just like myself. Oh, she's good.
엑스레이 준비해주세요. 네. 잘 안 돼? 좀 못하는 거야? 왜 이렇게 안 되는 거야?
가만히 좀 있어.
Yeah. I don't know if she really killed her husband or not, but I don't know. Sometimes those instances were in self-defense. Sometimes back in the old days and even in today's day, some people's husbands are abusive.
내가 무섭지 않아요.
No, Miss Ma'am. And then also, side note, being somebody who's from the States, U.S. doctors have a habit of being discriminatory against people of color, Black people, and Indigenous people. Black people's at the top of that list, and so are Indigenous people, and then other people of color. So it is very certain that he will not get the treatment that he needs, depending on what doctor is trying to help him, quote unquote, in the States. So him thinking that if he goes to the States he'll get better treatment is an unfortunate lie. Okay, it's not better. Our doctors in the States are literally taught racist practices, unfortunately, about how different ethnic groups that are not European respond to medicine and treatment, and they don't even have it in enough medical books in the States, unfortunately again, about how different illnesses appear in different ethnic groups. There's not enough research, quote unquote, on that. So, and then also in the United States, doctors here tend to prolong the illness to collect on the insurance money instead of treating the root of the problem. So you most likely will get misdiagnosed a few times before you actually get the correct diagnosis. And that is unfortunately the American healthcare system in a nutshell. So yeah, he is very much better off in Korea with competent doctors who are taught not to be discriminatory, who aren't taught racism, and who are taught to treat the problem so that the patient will have to come back. Yeah. I just thought I'd add that 2 cents there, just in case anybody was like getting into, because you know, you might not know that if you don't live in the United States, but when you do, you peep game real quick, especially in the healthcare industry. You peep game, especially in terms of the medical system. You have to, because it literally could be your life if you don't, especially as a Black person, especially as an Indigenous person, especially as a person of color. It's just giving you pearls of wisdom. You could choose to take them or you could choose to leave them, but you got them, okay? That's all I'm saying. Oh, he really was adopted. That's the orphanage.
하셨나요?
Do it. Because he could have just been missing. He could have wandered off and got there. Somebody just dropped him off there.
근데 아빠는 어디 있어? 아빠 스크린 골프장. 요즘 스크린 골프장이 불륜의 온상이라던데. 야, 뭐라는 거야?
Oh, she's trying to tell her son.
엄마 맛있다.
Okay.
맛있지? 많이 먹어. 많이 먹어?
One thing I can respect about this young woman right here is she don't like her dad and she don't like her mom because of who they are as individuals. And she's trying to drop hints subtly to her because she knows she's a good person. That young old boy is stepping out. It's gonna come out, y'all. It's gonna come out.
582만? 이건 몇 큰 그림인데. 어머니, 오늘 잘 쳤어?
그렇죠.
근데 당신 팔찌 샀어?
Now we're gonna have to spend more money
알지?
to cover it up.
왜 이렇게 놀래?
이거 맞아.
그럼 결제는 어떻게 해드릴까요?
12개월 할부.
네. 물 보셨어요? 수저 준비하라고. 네.
Save him, girl. Save him, Dr. Chow.
자!
Y'all. Not our good sis finding out her husband is cheating this way. I did not want this for her. I did not want this for her. At all. Let me tell you, I did not want this for her. I did not want her to find out he was cheating like that. But what a way. What an odd way for her to find that out. But yeah, that is my reaction to Dr. Chow episode 4. But we about to get into it in episode 5. Because now that she knows that there is definitely something going on between her husband and old girl up at the hospital. She about to really figure out how deep this goes. Because once she finds out about their daughter that they got together, that was at her house with her daughter. Oh, divorce, divorce, divorce. That's what I'm hoping that she does. Because this man is just not worthy of her time. And on top of that, he's cheating. It's just disgusting. But yeah, I'm hoping for Dr. Chow to get away from this man as quickly as possible. Just to get away from him. Because I'm like, is it really a marriage if you live in two separate rooms and he's mad disrespectful? And the only time he gave her a compliment was when he was trying to cover up the fact that he was having an affair. It just don't sit right in the spirit. It don't sit right in the spirit. But yeah, that's my reaction to Dr. Chow episode 4. And I will be reacting to episode 5 relatively soon. And if you have stayed to the end of this video, you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to give this video a good thumbs up because it helps with the algorithm and gets this video out to more people. And also don't forget to comment if you would like to comment. And also to subscribe because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And every day we get a bit closer. And also if you're on Patreon, again, thank you so much for being a patron. Your support is really appreciated. And I will be bringing you more content on both YouTube and Patreon relatively soon. And until the next video, bye.